All right, so Alabama dominates Ole Miss 42-21, and this is a game that I did not see coming. I thought Ole Miss was going to at least put up 30 points against us. I had Alabama winning this game, but I thought that this was going to be a lot closer than what people expected it to be. But let's give a lot of credit to Pete Golding, man. He had a great game plan coming into this one against Ole Miss. We felt way more energized. The crowd was into it. Our players were definitely more into it. We played with way more intensity compared to what we did even in the Florida game when we scored 21 straight points against the Gators. We just felt like we wanted it more, at least in the first half. For the most part, we dominated time of possession. We controlled the majority of the possessions. We ran the football. This is something that we've been begging Bill O'Brien to do was, hey, you got a running back, you got a bruising guy that can carry the ball 20, 30 times. Give him the rock, give him an opportunity, give him a chance. And we did. We gave Brian Robinson the ball more than 30 times this game. He had over 160 yards rushing. But yeah, for the most part, we just gave the ball to Brian Robinson. Ole Miss I think they ran a little bit of a 3-2-6 defense. They dropped a lot of guys back, but I think that was definitely because they respected more of our passing attack more than our rushing attack did. For the most part, Ole Miss tried to play that New York Giants type of play where they just simply allowed us to run. But Alabama simply were just the way more physical team, the way more talented team, and we were able to again mix up the run. We were able to mix up the pass a lot too. We were able to kind of use some RPOs at times when the opportunity was needed. We were able to kind of expose Ole Miss's zone a little bit there. And our crossing routes and overall routes was able to just absolutely dominate Ole Miss's secondary. They could not really hang with our receivers. Jaleel Billingsley, once again, had a phenomenal game at the tight end position. Again, he's a hybrid guy, a guy that you can put in the middle. You can put him out wide. Whether if it's a safety or a linebacker, he's matched up in the inside, or he's going to be going against another outside corner to the outside. Jaleel Billingsley is one of the best overall receiving tight ends in all of football. Jamison Williams had one big play. Slade Bolden, I thought, was very effective, especially in the slot. He was extremely effective in a lot of the RPO type of schemes. He was extremely effective tonight. So Slade Bolden, a guy that I've kind of been way more harsh on compared to some of the other Bama receivers in recent years, definitely I thought had a really, really good game today. But for the most part, we just won with physicality. We lined up with Ole Miss toe-to-toe on both the offensive line and the defensive line, and we just simply won the line of scrimmage, right? I thought that, Darren Delcourt, even though, oh my God, goodness gracious, he needs to fix his snaps because my God, he snapped the ball so damn high to Bryce Young on almost every single snap he had. The ball it looked like it was going to go over his head every time. They need to get that straightened out. But still, Darren Delcourt was extremely physical. Javon Cohen, Evan Neal, the combination of that duo to the left side was just punishing Ole Miss's defense, was punishing that side of the line of scrimmage. Those guys had a great game there. I thought that Chris Owens improved a little bit more until the second half. But yeah, offensive line won, defensive line, Timothy Smith, I thought you can make an argument he was the player of the game. Even as a reserve player, he was extremely dominant, made that crucial 4th and goal stop that I think kind of set the tone for this game. Drew Sanders, I thought, had a pretty good game. Again, I give our linebackers credit. Fedarian Mathis, Byron Young made some plays. Justin Agbobi made some plays. So overall, man, we played a great game. Our front seven and our offensive line, again, those guys on the line of scrimmage dominated this game and set the tone for it. The one thing that I would definitely kind of complain about, even though that, again, we did a great job. I thought Ole Miss was going to score more than 30 points, but we lacked the intensity in the second half, right? Now, we scored, I think, 14 points in the third quarter, but once again, we were shut out in the fourth quarter. Once again, our defense allowed that, our defense kind of allowed, that's where the majority of the yardage kind of came. Now, you can make an argument, 7:42, it's garbage time. What are you complaining about? But you kind of see a little bit of a rhythm there. You kind of see a little bit of a pattern, right? The Florida game, we were up 21-3, and then all of a sudden, we started to drop the intensity in the second quarter, and then we were just lost in the third and the fourth quarter. The Ole Miss game was a little bit similar because even though, again, the first half was just spot on, the third and fourth quarter, we just seemed like we just didn't really care. We seemed like we just wanted to just wanted to get out there as fast as possible. Even the crowd, like I'll even say this, the crowd noise compared to how it was in the first half, it dipped a little bit. That's because, again, you look at the crowd in the third and the fourth quarter, fans were already leaving the game before the game was already over. It was like way before the game was already over. But our defense just lacked intensity, right? Henry T started to get way more confused. He started to really think a lot. He read too much into it instead of just following the simple things. The same thing about Christian Harris. Our defensive line were just losing the line of scrimmage battle. Our corners, once again with the pass, Mr. Josh Jobe himself with the pass interference call. Jalen Armour-Davis not really turning around for the football, or just not learning to kind of let go of the receiver. We were just lost in the second half on the defensive side of the ball. And then again, the offensive line, I talked about how we were dominant in the line of scrimmage in the first half. The second half came, that went away. Now, I'll give Ole Miss a little bit of credit because they really started just, instead of rushing 3, they simply just, they would have 5, 6 guys in the box. And, they knew that we were going to run the football. And to give Ole Miss a lot of credit, they started to put the pass rush pressure. The pressure started to come on a little bit, and Bryce Young had a little bit more struggle. And again, that's where the compliment ends with Chris Owens and Darren Delcourt, and even I would say with Javon Quinn. Those guys were getting dominated in the second half by an Ole Miss front, which is not particularly, they're not bad. They're not as bad as they were last year, but it's a little bit worrisome that, again, we were so damn dominant. We looked like the best team in the country. And in the second half we dropped that intensity. Like something was off. I don't know, again, if we were just not focused. I don't know if we just said, you know what, we were up 28-0. We got the game in the bag. But you're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here. Because even in the Southern Miss game, I'll even say this, even in the Southern Miss game, the intensity from the first half to the second half was just completely different. One half, you look like a team that looked like the best team in the country. And then the second half came, and you just saw that we were just off. We looked like we just didn't even want to be there anymore. So I know Nick Saban, this is one thing that he's kind of complaining about, that we just have not looked like a 4-quarter football team, except for the Miami game. The Miami game was kind of the only game where we kind of looked like a four-quarter team. But yeah, we just looked off. We looked way off in the second half compared to the first half. And again, we're in SEC competition now. So we beat Ole Miss. We beat a pretty good Ole Miss team. Next week, we got a very good A&M squadron right in College Station. So that's another tough opponent that we kind of have to get prepared for. But we need to play 4 quarters of football. We need to try to keep that intensity up for 4 quarters. I don't know if this is because we won the national championship and players are getting too cocky. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is. But it's like, it just seems like we just have a lack of focus, and this is something that I would definitely love to see to get cleaned up. But overall-wise, I thought Ole Miss was going to score 30 points. Bama held this team to 21 points. I'll take the W. I would love to see this team just play with more intensity in the second half compared to the first half. We're looking like the 2020 Buffalo Bills out here. And again, for anyone who's been watching my videos for a long time on the Bills, you guys know that that's not particularly a good thing compared to how we played in the second half. But anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe, especially with more reactions. More videos on the way. And yeah, that's all I got. So yeah, you guys stay safe. Have a good night or morning, wherever you guys are. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.